Is this gonna be the way that we have like universal basic income or like some kind of kickstart for 18-year-olds or for like young adults in America? I genuinely think this is a good thing. For me as a person, this is not YouTube Elrod. This is the Elrod sitting across from you, drinking some chai, hitting the namaste, hitting a little natu natu. I think this is a wonderful idea. I think it is the responsibility of the current generation to give the next generation the same opportunities that they were given, if not more. It is their responsibility to give back to the world and be a benefit. And you're a benefit by giving back to at least what you were given. Yaps. It's in the name. And you know what? I have a funny feeling in America, we're about to have a lot more babies. A lot more babies. The reason why I say that is because now with this new Trump administration, as per today, apparently you can claim $1,000 for every baby that you crank out. I'm not even kidding.
Will be doing another big cabinet meeting. We'll be taking a lot of questions like he normally does, but
a lot of questions
today that he will be talking a little bit more about what is being called the Trump accounts for babies that were born from
a Trump account. And when you open up the trunk in the Trump account, you're gonna find $1,000.
2025 to 2028. Think of it as an IRA for babies with a one-time $1,000 deposit from Uncle Sam. We want to learn a little bit more about the program here.
What a crazy uncle, just giving out all of those kids $1,000.
And go out to USA Today's Daniel DeVise. Thanks so much, Daniel, for joining us. You wrote an article about this, and we're getting closer to learning a little bit more information tomorrow. But I think a lot of new families are going to be paying attention.
Yeah,
because they want that $1,000.
It's a big deal. It's hard to imagine anybody would turn down $1,000 for your baby from the government. So I think it's likely to be a pretty popular program.
Yeah, no doubt. And so not only will
it's gonna be pretty popular. Everyone's gonna be cranking out a kid, and then they're gonna realize it costs a lot more than $1,000 to raise a kid.
Will it be the one-time deposit, but family members can throughout the years continue to contribute, correct?
Yeah, you can think of it, again, you used the right term, like an IRA for children. You get seed money of $1,000 from the government if you're born between 2025 and 2028. And then your parents or
interesting
guardians or other loved ones, an uncle, an aunt, could contribute up to $5,000 a year per year into these accounts until the child turns 18. Now, think about compounding. That could become an enormous sum of money if your loved ones contribute that much. An employer, which I guess would be the parents' employers, could contribute toward that cap. And then state and even local governments and charities, if they do it broadly, would also be allowed. So you could imagine like the Cook Foundation in Cook County, Chicago or something, could make a contribution to, say, every Chicago public school kid or something. I think something like that would work. So you can imagine it ballooning into quite a sum by the time that the person reaches adulthood.
Is this going to be the way that we have like universal basic income or like some kind of kickstart for 18-year-olds or for like young adults in America? I genuinely think this is a good thing. For me as a person, this is not YouTube Elrod. This is the Elrod sitting across from you, drinking some chai, hitting the namaste, hitting a little natu natu. I think this is a wonderful idea. I think it is the responsibility of the current generation to give the next generation the same opportunities that they were given, if not more. It is their responsibility to give back to the world and be a benefit. And you're a benefit by giving back to at least what you were given, right? And it doesn't always mean one-to-one. It's different for the individual. But I think it is, as a community and as a society, operating on making the next generation have the same opportunities, if not more so than the ones that they had, I think is a good thing. I think it's hard to argue against. And this is at least the start of a conversation that I never thought we would have. I thought this is just, like some utopian society. This is nice to hear.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And will the parents be able to pick? I mean, will there be a number of options for mutual funds, or how will they go about it once they select what they want?
Yeah, not all the details have been announced. I guess that's the point. We're going to hear more about this. But what I'm told, what I've reported, is that it has to be some sort of mutual fund, an index fund. So you could index the S&P 500 You think?
It would be smart if they did it just like top 500 companies or the top 100 companies that are based out of America, making American jobs, and it just like internally stay American. I doubt that'll happen, but I think that's the idea that should go down. Companies that are owned by people like Jocko, who's a military guy, has a company that makes like jeans and boots and like put that in there. You could do like XRP, HBAR, so crypto. Like you could do a mix of like crypto and stock.
Index the Nasdaq or
This
something.
this
But
is awesome.
the government doesn't want these funds to be like in one stock or in crypto or something. It's got to be in a broad index fund. And mind you, certified financial planners would advise people.
A broad index
generally,
fund
unless
is
they
just a
are
bunch of those different
specialists,
things.
to invest that way anyway, because generally speaking, these big broad index funds do as well as the pros, if not better.
Yeah, that is true, and I think it'll not only showcase obviously the newborn that'll when they turn 18 they'll say, oh wow, okay, we got this account here, but maybe also show others about the power of investing and really the power of compound interest.
Yeah, this is linked to an initiative for financial education. I used to cover K-12 education for years, and I didn't take a class on financial literacy when I was in high school or college. There's a national initiative now, and that's tied into this effort, where more and more states are requiring some sort of financial education. So the idea would be that, 18 years from now, a kid gets out of high school and they have some knowledge about checkbook math and about investing.
Holy shit, this is definitely needed. No kid, like there's so much stupid stuff that we can learn in school. We don't know how to balance a checkbook. I guess really that's a prehistoric way of looking at it. Most people don't know how to run their finances. They don't know how to make money work for them. They don't understand how to invest. Even though it's very simple, it's been made seemingly overcomplicated. When really, it's not that crazy.
And then they've got this seed money, which even if it's just $1,000, that could grow into an enormous sum in like 20 years. That's a very powerful tool. So the idea is for people to sort of participate in our capitalist system. And I don't know what that sounds like, but that is our system. And the idea is to get kids to understand it and learn it, and to participate in this wealth building mechanism, which has been incredibly, it's paid off enormously to anybody who's owned stocks over the last 10 years, just about.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And Daniel, have we seen this? I mean, why is this being implemented now? Have we tried to see this in the past, but it never really got traction? Or is this something new from the Trump administration that they wanted to really implement?
Yeah, I'm not a political writer. I do personal finance. But my understanding is that this was part of the one big, beautiful bill. It was incorporated into it, I think, with pretty broad support. And what I mean by that is I understand that both Republicans and Democrats in the past have liked this idea and have wanted something like this to happen. But it was swept into this huge tax and spending bill. And I don't think you're going to find a whole lot of people in Congress who are going to oppose it. Now, people have different
It'd be
ideas about how
crazy.
it should be done. And I've read critical comments from one person or another. But I think the idea of giving seed money to people of all different incomes has been very popular in the past.
Okay, this is actually fascinating. So if we go over here, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna use Grok. If I got $1,000 at birth and held it for 18 years in a mutual fund, how much would it be worth? Let's just see. 7% is kind of what I was thinking. 10%, really 12% is kind of what you're shooting for. 7%, averaging the 3% inflation. So really your money's growing really only 4%. So if you put $1,000 in and it never touched it, you never put any money in, your parents didn't love you, they didn't put an extra dollar in there and scrape some extra in there, you would graduate with $4,000 to $5,000, which is for sure, at least if you're gonna go into college, that is at least like paying a good chunk of that semester, or taking away rent for a couple months even. Like that's not bad. And or you could just take that out and reinvest it into another fund. Like there's a lot of different things. And honestly, I think this is kind of lowballing it. In my head, I would imagine $1,000 after 10 years or 18 years would be closer to 10,000 than 4 to 5. But yeah, see, so real world outcomes have ranged from 3,000 to 13,000 depending on exactly 18 years. Like this is what I think it's closer to, is that 13,000. I think this is a beautiful thing. What do you guys think down below? Yo, Yash, what's poppin'?